Are you ready for some free agent talk? Let's do it next in 3, 2, 1. Gather around, Skull brothers and sisters. This is Skull World, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Skull World. Make sure you Hulk smash the YouTube algorithms by Hulk smashing the like button. Subscribe. Above all, leave a comment. Tell me what you think of these free agents. Way too early to talk about free agents. Let's go. Let's go. I'm bringing up Bleacher Report. They are talking about 4 free agents in the wildcard weekend that we should look at as Minnesota Viking fans. Let's do it. All right. Bleacher Report Matt Holder put together the list of noteworthy impending free agents playing during Super Wild Card Weekend, naming 3 potential landing spots for each player. Of the 12 players, 1 per team who were highlighted, the Vikings were included as possible destination for 4 of them. Let's take a look at those players and see if they make the sense for Minnesota in 2024. We're starting off strong here. This is a guy, now one of my steps, and I'll do a video sometime of what I think the Vikings need, and that's pass rush and preferably on the defensive line, not outside. We need to get up after that quarterback up the middle. And we got Dolphins D tackle Christian Wilkins. Let's do it. Given his production over the last few years, Wilkins will arguably be the top interior defender available in free agency. He's able to impact the passing game as evident by his 20.5 career sacks and 19 career pass defended. Also, he's a quality run defender with a good grade from Pro Football Focus in that department this season and throughout his time in the NFL. The 5-year veteran should have no shortage of suitors on the open market, particularly because he has versatility to play as a defensive tackle in even fronts or at end for a team that primarily uses odd fronts. So he is not a nose tackle. Not going to claim that. I want a D tackle. You could get that in the draft. I want a big guy. I want a guy up the middle, whatever. But this guy could easily fit into right end. And we had some problems there, left or right end. We had some problems there. Harrison Phillips was only really a guy doing a whole lot on our D-line. So this would be a big upgrade for us. I think it should be a target if we're able to get him over Miami. Wilkins has never made a Pro Bowl, but the 28-year-old is a star at the defensive tackle position. He's coming off a season in which he racked up 9 sacks and 58 pressures, and he's always been extremely impactful against the run. There's an obvious connection to the Vikings with coordinator Brian Flores, who coached Wilkins during his first 3 seasons. They could certainly use a difference maker in the middle of their defensive front. Brian Flores has not received a interview request by any team needing a head coach. 2 things either happen. He's still blackballed. He spurred the Cardinals, who he withdrew his name. And then 3, as defense gave up 30 points a game like the last 4 games of the season. So those are some things. So this is good news. Obviously, he played for Miami. He's under Brian Flores. What I saw was a guy that could get after it. He was quick. He had moves. I don't see him as big of a run stuffer, but apparently he's pretty decent at that. But he is not a nose tackle, not one bit. He will get up the field. 3rd down, sure. But he's primarily going to play defensive end in a 3-4 for us. I like him. This should be a big acquisition. With that said, he's highly unlikely Wilkins ends up in Minnesota. Burst our freaking bubble. The Dolphins might end up franchise tagging him, and if they don't, he's going to get a huge contract from someone. This Vikings regime hasn't given out a free agent deal with more than $14 million average annual value. Zadarius Smith in 2 seasons, and the cap space probably isn't there to land a big fish like Wilkins. So let me talk about that. I'll talk more about that. 2 things could happen. We sign Kirk or we don't sign Kirk. If we sign Kirk, we can $28 million. We can put that money towards his salary. $28 million, because that's what the dead cap hit. $10 million this year. But again, Rob Brzezinski, best in the business, can move that around. We also have the ability, I think we may be able to move on from Harrison Smith with as high as 15 million, and then we also got over 20 million on top of that. Not to mention how much the cap will go up. So there's plenty of things that could change this cap space. And just so you know, the Packers are -3 right now. So quarterback and rookie contract, they're -3. They don't have a whole lot of space either. So we are in a better situation than the Packers. Just thought I'd throw that out there. So give me 20 million plus over 20 million plus the 15 million here's Smith plus the 28 million potentially with free agent money, because that can be moved around, plus the contract can be moved around. That's if we sign Kirk Cousins. If we don't sign Kirk Cousins, 28 million's gone. A little over 20 million left on the cap hit. Yeah, probably not getting it, because we got to go get a quarterback now. All right. Or if we start a rookie, but if we don't get the first 3 spots in the draft, then are we really starting, like a JJ McCarthy first year? I don't know. We'll find out. Look, or we just go to Nick Mullins. I don't see us going after top talent if we don't have our starting quarterback in play. We're probably not big players in free agency. I just don't see why we would do that if we're going to go with the rookie quarterback. The offensive line's set almost, and we just need a left guard to start. So it's not like we got to go after big free agents for the offensive line to protect the quarterback. We'll see. I don't see us doing long-term contracts if we don't have a quarterback in place. So this might all be moot if we don't re-sign Kirk. Steelers QB Mason Rudolph. Whoa, what do you know? A free agent. Pittsburgh doesn't have many notable impending free agents, and Rudolph certainly didn't fall into that category. Right now, he's 2 for 7, 24 yards as I'm doing this video. At the beginning of the year or even a month ago, however, there's no denying that team's offense has been much improved since he's been under center. It averaged 17.9 points per game, 20th NFL for the entire season, but moved up to 27 points per game, 5th in last year's game. This is also a relatively weak free agent quarterback class. And if this season has taught general managers anything, that is investing in the good backup signal caller is important. Yep, played well, man. Turn them around. If the Vikings let Kirk Cousins walk, they say, and decide to sign a cheapish veteran as their backup or bridge quarterback, they're also presumably drafting the QB in that scenario. Rudolph could fit the mold. He played well down the stretch for the Steelers, winning the final 3 games of the regular season without throwing any picks. Mullins is under contract. He's cheap. He showed he can throw for 400 yards a game. Just don't be down so he has to force balls and throw picks. I don't see us going out and signing a free agent quarterback. I don't see it. We're not going to sign, we're not going to go out and sign, we're going to get signed 1-year quarterbacks. I don't know if that's going to happen. So again, I don't think we're going to commit that. If anything, we'd get Mullins and go after a third quarterback to back him up, which would be probably in the draft. Or maybe that guy wins the job and starts. I only see 2 scenarios: rookie or Kirk Cousins. I only see those 2 scenarios. I don't think this would be one of them. Cowboys D tackle Neville Gallimore. The Cowboys don't have a ton of notable impending free agents, and while running back Tony Pollard is the bigger name, Gallimore is a decent under-the-radar player. The defensive tackles production is underwhelming, but he's also buried on the Cowboys depth chart behind Osa Odighizuwa, I guess, who is having an excellent season. The Oklahoma product hasn't gotten much playing time this year, but he was a quality prospect coming out of college who could make an impact in both phases of the game. Gallimore is the type of free agent D tackle who could make more sense for the Vikings than an established star like Wilkins. The 27-year-old played fewer than 300 defensive snaps this season, but he may still have some upside with a change of scenery. He's an explosive athlete who was taken in the 3rd round back in 2020. Yeah, not bad. I don't think he's an answer. I don't think he's any bigger deal than Lowry. I would say it would be an upgrade over Lowry. I think he can still play. He's lost his start. He was a starter for the Cowboys, has lost the starting spot, doesn't get much playing time, hasn't had more than a sack and a half in a season. I'd much rather have Wilkins, obviously, but this is a depth piece, rotational player, potential starter on a weaker D line. Yeah. Now the big one we'd all love and a pipe dream, but we'll talk about it anyways. Buccaneers safety Antoine Winfield Jr. Winfield Jr. is a stat sheet stuffer as an extremely versatile safety who can make an impact in all three levels of the defense during the regular season. He logged elite grades from Pro Football Focus overall against the run and as a pass rusher while only being a few points shy of an elite mark in coverage. The former second-round pick is arguably one of the best players at the position in the league, so he'll undoubtedly be on top of the team's list that is looking for a safety on the open market. There were countless fans in Minnesota who wanted the Vikings to take Winfield. I'm one of them instead of Jeff Gladney, rest his soul, in the 2020 draft. If only the team would have listened. Winfield has been great since, and he entered the league, but he went on another level this year with a ridiculously good season. He had 6 sacks, 6 forced fumbles, wrecked our game when we played him week 1, 12 passes defended, 3 picks, and a 91.2 PFF grade while being named a first-team All-Pro. There's almost zero chance Winfield ends up with the Vikings this year. If he doesn't get tagged by the Bucs, he'll command a huge contract on the open market. And even if Harrison Smith retires, safety won't be a pressing need for the Vikings who have Cameron Bynum, Josh Metellus, Theo Jackson, and Lewis Seen. I guess Jay Ward didn't make the cut on this one. But that, my friends, is the way too early free agents to look at. I'm liking Wilkins out of this. Obviously, I like Winfield, but do we have like 5 safeties, 6 if you think Harrison Smith's going to still be on the team? I don't want to. Money needs to go elsewhere. Obviously, we need a corner. We need a D, anything to help the D line. We may need pass rushers or outside linebackers. Thanks to Wanham being hurt and a free agent. I do think Wanham can come back as a 1-year prove-it deal on a cheap deal. So I like that possibility. But I want a difference maker that could be had in the draft. Could be had by Roy stepping up, Tonga stepping up. It could be those type of players that step up and fill the needs. But Dean Lowry was a hit, swing and a miss. Bullard been average. Harrison Phillips has been the only really guy on that line that's helped out a lot. We have currently, before the free agency, have 11 guys that are from the Spielman and Zimmer era. We've turned this over. This isn't a running back team. We still competitive, obviously, even when we lose our starting quarterback. I'm in win now mode. I will talk about videos like that. Obviously, if you're talking about re-signing Kirk, the management's in win now mode. So a lot of my talk will be on how we improve this team. I'll also talk about the draft, what we need in the draft, quarterback too. I'm all for going up and getting the big 3 if we can do it. I don't know if we can, but that would be meaning spending a lot of money in free agency, and we'd be losing a lot of draft picks for the future. All those things, ramifications we'll talk about. Skull Vikings, cue the music.